The countdown has started. Next June, EU citizens will go to vote for the next European Parliament. In this video, we want to look at some of the debates that are likely to be at the centre of the campaign. First, let's think about how many things have radically changed since the last EU-wide polls in 2019. The last 5 years, as we know, have been defined by extraordinary events. The coronavirus pandemic, the war in Ukraine and its consequences, including a seismic change to Europe's energy supply, and of course the climate crisis, which will affect daily life for generations to come. Now, these events and their repercussions are already reshaping the EU's future. And with all this in mind, what will the next electoral campaign look like? We've asked the leaders of the political groups in the European Parliament about the issues and themes that will be at the centre of their campaigns.
Creo que las prioridades sobre cómo tenemos que seguir construyendo el proyecto europeo son claras. Si esta ha sido la legislatura, por un lado, de la política de lucha contra el cambio climático, ahora necesitamos continuar con la siguiente parte, que es cómo financiamos todas estas políticas de transición y, por lo tanto, la gobernanza económica será una cuestión fundamental.
Déjà, il y a un contexte et un bilan. Le premier contexte, c'est que l'Europe a beaucoup avancé avec les crises. Crise du Covid et guerre en Ukraine. Et il faudra maintenant que l'Europe avance en dehors des crises. Et donc les grands voies d'orientation politique pour Renew, ça sera de poursuivre deux grands chantiers. D'abord le chantier de la réindustrialisation européenne avec des emplois dans l'industrie verte. Et donc on doit être en capacité aujourd'hui d'avoir une industrie européenne forte. Et puis le chantier du Green Deal et de la voie de l'environnement et du climat.
Well, I definitely think that climate change is going to play an important role, and the question of how, with the Green Deal and with an even more ambitious path towards climate neutrality, we can still turn around all the negative implications that climate change is already having and is going to have if we don't do enough. But we also want to speak about issues like, for example, social justice. We see that there is a growing divide between rich and poor in our societies.
Questo è l'obiettivo. L'obiettivo è quello di fermare questa iniziativa di realizzare una sorta di superstato europeo che riduce le nazioni ad entità amministrative. Noi vorremmo tornare al progetto originario. Ovviamente questo significa anche poi convergere su temi che per noi sono qualificanti. Questi temi sono la libertà di mercato, di iniziativa economica, ma nello stesso tempo anche la conservazione dei principi e delle tradizioni della cultura che ci definisce. È una dimensione naturalmente che va ricercata con moderazione, con equilibrio, ma anche con efficacia e concretezza.
So for me, the key questions for this election is, are we going to come back to business as usual? Or are we going to change from the roots the EU rules? Because we did realize over the last 5 years that having everything as a market, well, we were not even able to produce our own mask within the EU, that our electricity market led to a sharp increase of prices, that austerity rules prevent member states from investing into the healthcare system. So we need to draw conclusions from that.
First of all, immigration. This is still a rising problem in the European Union with different perspectives, but with only one solution possible, that is a focus on protecting the external borders and reducing the numbers and regulating better the numbers of people that we have to granting access to the European Union. The second most important topic that will be a very, very important one in this campaign is the green or industrial transition. What we have seen so far by the European Commission is a total failure in making this transition and in giving a better perspective for our economies in the future, or modernizing the EU industrial footprint for the future. So we will campaign on this point, asking for or proposing more pragmatism in this transition, protecting small businesses and people in this transition.
And also, how much these EU topics will overlap with national debates across the member states. Attempts to reform the EU electoral law, which dictates precisely how the elections are organised, appear to have failed. And also stalled is the so-called Spitzenkandidat process, which was used to agree on the Commission presidency in 2014, but was then rejected by EU leaders in 2019. This time, we think that only a few political parties are going to use it as a tool to create a more uniquely European feel to the campaign debate. The Greens, the left.
But it looks we are going to have Spitzen again, as it was in the last two elections, where we had two Spitzenkandidates in both of the elections. And we are looking into doing that again, because from our point of view, this Europeanizes the European elections, and it obviously gives also then a more European focus in the public debate and in the campaign.
Of course, we're a year ahead. The election are in a year of time, so we'll certainly have a Spitzencandidate, and we're having a process to designate one in the coming months.
Others are more discreet.
Bueno, ahora nos corresponde trabajar en las ideas, en el proyecto y evidentemente, según vaya avanzando el tiempo, vamos a hablar también de los procedimientos, ¿no? Y de las personas.
Pour l'instant, cette question n'a pas été tranchée et sera l'objet d'un débat entre nous sur la question du leader européen éventuellement. Pour avoir un Spitzenkandidat, il faut avoir normalement des listes transnationales. C'était la condition pour qu'on puisse rentrer dans la dynamique des Spitzenkandidats. Maintenant, on a besoin aussi d'incarnation, on a aussi besoin de leaders au pluriel aussi pour pouvoir incarner ces priorités politiques. Donc probablement il y aura des hommes et des femmes politiques pour incarner, mais je ne peux pas encore vous dire s'il y aura un Spitzenkandidat.
And there are others still who are vocally opposed to the whole process.
Questa dello Spitzenkandidat è una formula che non è stata prevista appunto nei trattati europei e quindi noi sinceramente non la condividiamo. Noi pensiamo che si debba arrivare ad un candidato o una candidata alla presidenza della Commissione che sia ovviamente rappresentativo della maggioranza che governa il Parlamento europeo. Noi auspichiamo che sia una maggioranza di centrodestra come quella che governa attualmente l'Italia, che per questo è un modello secondo noi efficace, che sta dimostrando pragmatismo, efficienza, che sta portando risultati anche sul piano economico oggettivi. Ecco, noi pensiamo che quello debba essere il modello a cui tendere e quindi poi la persona giusta dovrà essere in grado di incarnare questo modello.
We don't recognize the Spitzenkandidat system that was also sort of failed attempt in 2019 when the Spitzenkandidat Manfred Weber was not elected by the member state. We recognize the value of European cooperation, but that is based on national states and national governments.
Unfortunately, the European People's Party president, Manfred Weber, decided against speaking to us on this topic because, as the EPP said, it is too early. And like everyone else, the centre-right family is waiting to see whether the incumbent Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, herself a member of the EPP, will seek a second mandate. And since the EPP is most likely to win the next European elections, albeit suffering some losses, this is the question that most people are seeking an answer to. So tell us, what's your opinion about the next EU elections? Let us know your views in the comments section below. And in the meantime, we'll do our best to keep you posted about everything and anything EU election related. So keep an eye on your